This edition of the Ridley Report is brought to you by
BikeAllTheWay.com.
Here's a funny side note. I was near the Democratic party headquarters or whatever here in Keene today, and sitting right in front of the door was parked a car with Massachusetts plates. I just thought that was kind of funny.
Yeah. So the suggestion was that
a great deal of the
maybe somebody Democratic Party related from Massachusetts might be,
the campaigning that goes on
yeah.
here is, it's Massachusetts a washover.
Yeah, I mean it's a parking lot shared by other businesses, but it could have been anybody. I just thought it was funny, but yeah,
it was an interesting
right in front of the door.
Interesting
made me chuckle.
And yeah, so when you listen to the critics of the Free State Project, they will howl and howl about how, everybody hates you, Free Staters. Why don't you just go home? And nobody wants you here. Get out of town.
They only do that in Keene, New Hampshire, by the way.
Well, that's because it's only visible. What's happening as far as activism is concerned is only visible here. If the people in the other areas of the state knew what was going on, they knew that there were
political activism in other areas of the state, and it hasn't. There's a certain threshold that one has to get.
And as we present this Constitution to Jen today, just want you to know that everybody's watching you.
There are several people in the New Hampshire House and all kinds of elected positions all over the state, but it hasn't reached that critical mass where there's now a libertarian veto over everything that has to get passed through the House. And at that point, you can believe that the political activists, that the howling from the Democrats and even the Republicans in some cases will reach a fevered pitch once that occurs. But you're right. I mean, the outside the system activists, for better or for worse, are getting noticed in Keene.
Well, getting noticed around the country as well, which is, of course, one of the benefits of doing the outside the system activism is to attract more people here. But my point being that these folks will howl and bitch and moan about all of the activism here, and of course, none of it is satisfactory to them, right?
On public property.
You haven't seen the video of the EMT, the city EMT that came up to Ian Freeman?
Free Stater videos.
Well, do you have any concerns about an EMT taking a camera from a reporter?
And why don't you get involved in the system? And then, when somebody gets involved in the system, he's not a real Democrat, and there's nothing that can satisfy these people. You need to run as a Libertarian Party candidate. Well, why? That makes it more difficult. And he says he's a Democrat. I saw something about him supporting a regulation of a nuclear plant, also, I guess, supporting a progressive tax of some sort. So, I mean, he believes he's a Democrat. Who are they to say he's not a Democrat?
Indeed.
Yeah, I don't see. That's the problem with this big tent party system that we have. The parties can't really limit who runs and who doesn't.
It's why the Libertarian Party is a piece of crap.
It's the people who decide whether or not he's qualified to be a Democrat in office, not the Democrats.
And he's been getting positive responses. He walked around on Labor Day, I believe, or on Sunday, meeting people, going door to door.
And if nothing else, what does that require the rest of the politicians to do? They have to get out and meet their constituents. Oh, the horrors!
Jason is on the line in New Hampshire. You're on Free Talk Live. Hello, Jason.
How's it going, guys?
Hey, what's on your mind tonight?
I just wanted to let it be known on the radio that Free Staters are more than welcome in New Hampshire.
Now, are you listening on the radio?
No, I'm not.
Oh, okay.
Am I coming over bad?
No, you're fine. So now,
okay.
How did you find out about?
No, I am listening in New Hampshire.
Oh, okay. But on the internet or on the radio?
Internet.
Okay, very good. Glad to have you on board. There's a chance we might actually be on 6 nights a week soon out where you live, but I can't say much more than that. Anyway, so how did you find out about the Free State Project?
I remember hearing about it years past. I never took much to it, but when I really first learned about it was when I did some volunteer work for the Ron Paul campaign.
Mm-hmm.
And then I started meeting all these people that were Free Staters around the area.
And they didn't upset you or turn you off or anger you?
No, far from it, far from it. In fact, I talked to people in New Hampshire about the Free State Project. Obviously, not much point in it because they're already here, but most people actually, in my experience, actually the idea. In fact, most of them consider it like a hedge against people in Massachusetts moving.
Yeah, that's what so many have said. Is there's essentially the nanny state project where the Massachusettsans or whatever you call the massholes, they move north of the border in order to avoid all the taxes, and then what do? They vote Democrat or whatever. They vote for larger government, and in order to essentially institute all the services that they previously had that they were taxed for. Now, most people aren't very politically active, so it takes, say, one free stater for every 20 massholes that moves north in order to do the counteracting.
Yeah, I agree with that. And I mean, I've always been as politically active as much as I've just been really angry.
Mm-hmm. If you want to protest, you got to march, you got to walk. Okay?
I'm not protesting, I'm just standing.
Sir.
You think we're going to go inside?
You got to move that.
Can't stand on a city street.
Nope.
I don't. Yeah, I mean, there's people that piss me off. We need to do something about it.
Here, my buddy, he's leaving me.
Do you remember the gay Arab anarchist?
Yes.
Well, even if you're just pretending to remember him, he remembers you. Or maybe he doesn't. But in any case, he's doing something for you. He's biking across America for liberty.
Oh, wow.
If he's doing that for you, surely you can do something for him. Visit his website, bikealltheway.com. He'll be uploading a lot of videos from New Hampshire to Florida and Florida to California, or something like that. bikealltheway.com.